is Tuesday, March 3rd, and this is the GameKraft GameKast on thegameaccess.com. I'm your host, Bronze Fiore, joined by
Anthony Ta.
How you doing, Tony Ta?
Kinda drained. I just finished watching season 3 of House of Cards.
Oh, we are not going to talk about that yet, because
it's way too new. It's way too new, way too fresh right now.
Yeah, I'm about halfway through it. I'll say it's really good, and I love that quote about broken bodies and burning.
But yeah, so that happened. Other than that, not much. It's been mostly eventless, as is the rest of the games industry. Games that I've been playing. I'm playing Grand Theft Auto 5 right now.
I'm eating a bowl of Thin Mint ice cream.
Oh man, that just sounds like the most.
That's
you don't get addicted to beer, guys. You get addicted to Thin Mints, and they're legal.
Yeah, no,
you don't get DUIs with them.
Seriously, I encourage everyone to look it up. I believe it's through Breyers. It is Thin Mint ice cream. It is amazing. It is literally as amazing as it sounds.
Thin Mints. I think I would rather prefer the cookies. Easier to eat.
Okay, well, it has chunks of the cookie in it.
Well, actually, you know what? The ice cream you could just buy at any supermarket, right? Whereas the Thin Mint, you're like competing against the rest of your city for them.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, because I'm not joking. It was like, I remember one time a person says, "Hey, would you like to buy some Thin Mints?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I'm like, and then they checked and they're like, "Crap, they're all sold out."
They're like $3 to $4 a box.
Freaking, you could go broke so fast with those and get so fat with those, and then you still think you haven't had enough.
I mean, like, the last time that those were on sale, I wasn't dieting yet or trying to lose weight. So, like, I bought, like, 5 boxes. I spent $25 on Thin Mints.
Wow.
Worth every penny. And here's the thing, like, I like supporting those things. Like, I generally like to buy stuff from youth sports organizations, because I did youth sports. I thought it was generally good for positive on my life.
Cool, cool. Yeah, well, it kind of gives you something to do, right?
Yeah, it keeps kids out of trouble.
Keeps kids out of troubles and kind of vents that competitive edge.
Yeah, and
the competitive, need.
Yeah, and it also makes sure you keep your grades up and shit.
Yeah,
like
that's the other thing I want to bring up too. Is just like you don't want your sports to replace the need to, I don't know, have competent literacy for life.
Yeah, and most sports, at least in our area, make it so you have to have all C's or higher and at least a 2.5 GPA. So,
which academia standards.
Which isn't much, but that's still like better than nothing.
Yeah, in high school. Well, at least the high school I went to, 2.5 GPA. You just need to try.
Basically.
I mean, like, you could still be challenged a bit, but compared to college, I mean, I look back at high school and I'm like, I don't know if it's because, high school is actually not that hard, or if it's because I went through college, which is way, way more work. And
No, high school is legitimately way easy.
It's like a D gets you your diploma.
I mean, yeah, like you could get straight D's and get a diploma.
Yeah, at least in our school district. It probably has changed in the last 5 years because the school districts, like our school district, had to go through a lot of crap for the last several years because, we've got a budget problem and another budget problem and this problem. Hey, this state is #1 for high school dropouts.
A lot of that. Okay, so let me talk about a couple things of why that is. One is because Reno is. Oh, good. Part of that is because Reno and the state of Nevada, in our Constitution, we can't go into debt. Like, you're aware of that, right?
Which is probably... Okay, well, I'm not going to get into I probably should keep that part out.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know, because it's like, well, when you look at the average household, it's like, can you run your house on debt? No,
No,
that's
yeah.
bankruptcy. But I don't know. I don't know anything about the topic, honestly. But yeah, the school
I
system
mean,
around here, at least when Bronson and I were in high school and middle school, everyone moved in, which sounded awesome. But then the school district had to build a lot of schools, hire lots of new people, which is great and all, until you notice that your budget's getting cut. Kind
yeah,
of
like,
sucks.
yeah, that's it's really disappointing.
Yeah, well, I'd say like you and I came from like one of the better high schools, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, like we definitely. Well, I mean, we came from a top 500 high school, so I mean, we
Yeah, which is
definitely.
pretty good. I mean, it's like yeah, the state looks absolutely terrible, but it's mostly Vegas. Just blame Vegas for all the problems, or
I
most of them.
mean, I mean, yeah, that would be. I mean, that's true.
Uh,
It's
and I
that
know
that
Vegas has good schools and all, and I'm pretty sure UNLV isn't the worst place on earth, but man, every time Bronson and I travel to that city, we're just like, oh man.
that's filled with sadness.
It's just they do a better job of covering it all with a giant layer of expensive glamour called high-end casinos.
Yeah,
Reno's
well,
just a little more honest with it.
Reno's far more honest with Reno's very blatant with it, just like this is a tourist trap. We
I mean,
know.
it's like yeah, the city kind of sucks, but at least Reno's like trying other things or sort of. I don't know. I don't keep
Uh,
up that much.
I'd encourage people to like visit Reno at least once. Uh, it's an interesting city, if anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's true. It really is an interesting city. Like that. That is very true. This is a very interesting, weird city. Like that.
Well, it's the biggest little city in the world, so
Uh,
I don't know. I just,
uh,
if there's one thing about the city of Reno, if there's one thing about the city of Reno that I remember, is that when you fly to San Francisco on like a regular flight, you notice people in suits that they look pretty well dressed, right? And when you fly from San Francisco to LA, it's kind of a similar story. The moment I lined up to get on the flight back to Reno, well, let's just say that it had a little bit of a Sandy Shores vibe to it. If you guys get the Grand Theft Auto reference there.
I, oh man, I I feel as though this city could be so much better than it is, but due to like state like things that involve the state on the state level, and other stuff, it kind of like hinders the city. But
Well, oh man, you could get into a really long debate about that.
yeah,
I'm not going to really go into it because one, it is very political. Two, chances are that 95% of you out there who listen to this podcast don't live in the state, so you probably don't care at all what happens here, other than it's like the ghetto of this country. Statistically, I should say. But yeah.
um,
Forward.
yeah. Anyway, moving forward. My new 3DS came in the mail.
That looks very nice.
It's very nice. I've been gotten to try that throughout the past week. I've been playing Majora's Mask and Animal Crossing and Smash Brothers. And fuck, man, that like just the experience of that system. Like I cannot go back to a regular 3DS unless I absolutely have to. I can't do it. I just cannot. And here's why. One is the load times. Like the load times on that thing are so much faster. Like I can actually get into a game of Smash Brothers so fast. Like I can get because of that on my commute, I can get more games to smash in or switch between games easier. The menu, like with the regular 3DS, everything feels like it's laggy and the system's about to die. Not the case with this one. The 3D is way better. Like I will actually play games in 3D now, something I
It
never did.
actually works, right? It actually can
Yeah,
track your face.
yeah. Like the 3D feels way better. Uh, the fact that it's bigger is nice because you can play like it doesn't hurt my hands as much. Like I don't have particularly like huge hands, but even then, like the regular 3DS was small. Um, Overall, it's a great improvement. I love the system. Definitely think that like I would say if you have an XL, it might not be worth the jump, but if you're on like the original 3DS or the 2DS, it's definitely worth moving over.
Okay, okay. Well, like, here's my personal opinion. It's like I probably would get a new 3DS if they had a regular size because I don't carry a messenger bag, so and I don't carry a backpack with me all the time. So I actually do carry my 3DS in my pocket quite a fair amount. Like at least about a third or half the time my 3DS is in my pocket when I'm traveling. Other times it's in a backpack or whatever. Like, you know, and I have no interest in an XL because yeah, I'm gonna miss out on the bigger screens and the better battery life and you know easier to use at home kind of stuff. But I like the size of my regular 3DS. Yeah, that screen is way too tiny. Yeah, that screen is tiny for Smash, but hey, I work with it just fine.
I don't know, but like the thing is, I don't think it's that much bigger. Like, I mean,
Well, okay, my opinion is that
I literally use the same exact side pocket on my messenger bag to carry it, except now instead of being loose, it's just a little tight. Like I think
okay, messenger bag. Do I always carry a messenger bag with me when I carry my
no,
3DS around? No.
no,
Granted,
no
yes, I have a
I'm
backpack, or whenever I travel, yeah, for sure, I have a backpack or a messenger bag. Totally. But it's not like I carry it with me everywhere I go. Sometimes I just don't bring anything with me except all I have is like my pockets. So 3DS XL, can it fit in my pocket? No. I
I think
mean,
it could.
it could fit in your pocket if I was wearing like shorts in the middle of summer. Those are fine, but jeans for me, no. Like no, they don't
I
fit in my jeans.
I we'll try
Mind
this
you,
sometime.
one pocket has keys and one pocket has cell phone.
Then put
Because
your
obviously I don't want to have my keys
that
and my cell phone share the same pocket and getting the screen all scratched.
that's actually why I like having an iPhone because the screen is glass, doesn't get
Well,
scratched when
my
you do
phone
that.
screen is glass too, but I don't want to risk it
Oh,
because
that's
it's a
a,
phone
yeah,
I have because it's a phone I would rather not break or have problems with. So
that's actually something that I thought was really neat about like the original iPhone is so every iPhone from the original the screen has been glass, right? And I remember like Steve Jobs went to a meeting for the first iPhone, and he's like, "Do you see this?" And it was the one of the first prototypes of the iPhone, and the screen was just scratched to shit.
oh yeah,
And
I remember my first cell phone. It was like one of those messenger slide phones with a physical keyboard. Oh, I miss it. It had a plastic sort of screen on it. And I used to keep it in the same pocket as my keys, and yeah, I eventually got all scratched up. But it wasn't like terrifyingly bad, but you could tell it was quite scratched up.
anyway, like the screen is scratched to shit. Like it's all fucking fucked up real bad. And he goes into his meeting. He's like, "What the fuck is this? Why is this fucking all scratched up and shit?" And he's like, "Well, if we use plastic, it saves X millions of dollars over blank years." And he's like, "I don't fucking care. You can't keep this in the same pocket as your fucking keys. Make it glass." And everyone in the room, and like this dude in the room tried to argue with. Him. He's like, "You're fucking fired." Like no. And that's actually like my concern with Apple going into the future is they don't have that person who's willing to like be like, no, we're gonna up the cost of our devices if it means higher quality. Like I
Yeah,
feel
I mean, it's just like when I don't know anything about corporate culture. I don't have a business degree, but it's just kind of a case of you're a public company. Your investors want you to turn a bigger profit than the previous year. You better do it, like
yeah.
somehow. And if it means slightly abusing your name's recognition or reputation or something, then so be it. Just make more money. Of course, that plan, depending who you are, may or may not work. As far as I know. But I'm not a businessman. Again, I don't have a business degree even, so yeah.
Yeah, man.
The thing is, though, is that one of the perks of like Apple being number one is that the Android people start working their butts off to even have a chance of, being the best selling single phone. So you get some pretty good, Android device. I mean, yeah, I get it. You can easily make the argument, oh, Android is Apple's better. All right, fine, I get that argument, but freaking like Samsung, they work their freaking butts off, and then they sometimes don't when you have those. Yeah, I don't have data anymore. Reset.
So, I'm looking at I look at the iPhone now, and the current iPhone, it's a good phone, and I really like it, and I just really hope that company keeps the spirit of Steve Jobs, because like I said, the thing that I liked about the thing that sold me on those early iPhones, and in college sold me on Mac when Steve Jobs was still with Apple, was the fact that yes, our product's gonna be more expensive, but you are paying for quality because we are considering all angles. Like I was watching a documentary about Steve Jobs, and they were talking about this new Mac computer that they're releasing, and fucking Steve Jobs is like, okay, but what color, and they outline all the technical aspects. Like, color is it? And like the engineer's like, who cares? And he's like, no, fucking, you need to think of this. What color is it?
This is their Mac, right?
Yeah.
Well, in a way, it makes sense because it's not like with a desktop computer where it just kind of sits on your desk, you're never looking at it. A Mac, the computer is literally the monitor too.
Yeah,
so. Yeah.
And it's that same thing with the iPhone screen. Like, fucking no, we're putting glass in this bitch.
I somehow have like a feeling. I mean, Apple's like a pretty interesting thing in my opinion because it's not like you could just like sit down and say, "Oh, if you up the quality, you get better sales." Because, well, I mean, I don't know why, and it wasn't like. How do I put this? Maybe like Apple came out with the iPod, and once they got everyone on the iPod, they came out with high quality products that people want to buy, and then they get stuck with it. Or I wouldn't say get stuck with it, but they get brand loyalty to it.
Well, yeah, and also
because like the iPod when it first came out, like I looked at the original iPod, it is not like the stuff that Apple makes today, where their stuff uses like high end glass, and all their Mac products are furnished with brushed aluminum.
It was better than the other MP3 players at the time, though.
It was better, but it wasn't like the most like super high end because Apple today is like the maker of high end products.
Yeah,
because Macs and
but
back
iPhones. In the day.
But back in the day, it was like they just basically made a product that worked regardless of the fact that it was made out of plastic.
The back of it was made of metal. And it had a hard drive, not flash memory. Like, it had more memory than any other MP3 player out there. And, like, it just had a lot of stuff that other MP3 players didn't have. And they figured out the way to like, make it so MP3 players were made... Like, they figured out the model to make people stop pirating music and pay for it digitally. And that was, like... Everyone else was, like, trying to put up all these, put up all these arcane firewalls and... Fucking, you got to use this account and it costs just as much as CDs, and like you can't, like Apple is just like, it's $1 a song. It's a fucking.
There was a point when Apple actually did introduce DRM on the music. Yeah, but they take it off now, I think. But back in the day, yeah, even Apple was on the piracy thing regarding iTunes and that kind of stuff with that DRM music.
Yeah, but even like it was easy to get. Like the difference between something like, the piracy protection that other companies use, and the piracy protection they use, is it's fucking Like, if I want to buy a song through any other service, I have to go through all this shit, go through, like, I have to log in and type, and type in my credit card information again and go through all this other shit. With Apple, it's, I press buy, it charges my credit card $1. I'm done. That's it. You're done. You know, and I think Jeff Gerstmann said it perfectly. Like, he was talking about, he was talking about, games, but the strongest way to fight against piracy is to have a business model that makes sense and is easy to understand and use. The more restrictions that you throw up on files and videos, all you're doing is inspiring people to throw up double middle fingers and say, I can click 4 buttons over here and get it for free. Fuck you. You have to be easier and more convenient than free. You have to compete with free. Oh. And that's absolutely true. Like, you have to compete with free, and Apple did it. They figured out a way. They figured out, like, you have an ID with us, you enter your information once, and you just hit buy, and it's only $1 a song. And if you buy the whole album, it's cheaper than buying all the songs individually, or buying the CD for that matter. They figured it out. You know?
Yeah.
So fucking good on them. Like the iPod was still higher quality than other MP3 players at the time. They kind of kept that. Like, like if I was buying purely a portable media device that is handheld, for whatever reason, I'm a caveman and don't want a smartphone, I would buy an iPod.
Classic or touch or nano?
They don't offer the classic anymore.
Oh.
So it's just
but 120 gigabytes of music. Because 64 gigabyte flash is still expensive for some reason.
I have 8 gigabytes of music. They offer the touch, the nano, and the shuffle.
The shuffle was always really interesting. It was like the cheapest iPod for like $40, but obviously had no screen and it just played music on random, if I were to guess from the name.
Yeah, that's basically what it does, is it plays your fucking music randomly. And it's like, it's colorful, it has buttons, voiceover, and playlists. You can set up playlists, you can tell it to you press the voiceover button to hear the song title and the playlist name. You can create multiple playlists. I'm trying to think of what else. Like, current one is super tiny. Like, it's something you can clip on your shirt.
Okay.
And it starts at I believe $50.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's $50 and it's $2 and it's 2 gigs.
Okay.
And it comes in all these different colors and whatnot. And I don't know, like that is something that's more for like kids. Like your
it's
kid
a shuffle
wants to...
though.
Yeah.
It has like no screen.
Yeah, it's something for like kids. You just like, it's the low end product. Like for teenagers, you get them like a Nano or an iPod Touch. So like that's how that goes. Like the Nano does video at least. And then an iPod
the Nano,
Touch.
I don't know if they still have this, but one of the interesting things about the Nano was like it was like the only iPod to have FM radio.
I believe that's the case.
Which like to me actually
that's still
is
the case.
Yeah, it's like that's kind of why the Nano was kind of interesting thing to me. It's just like FM radio. Yeah, I occasionally listen to the radio still.
And like, I find it funny that the iPods and the iPhone 5C are the only ones that do colors.
Well, how do I put this? Luxury doesn't exactly... Like, how do I put this? I feel like colors make it look more toyish, which is not what Apple's going for.
Yeah,
because you think about it, I mean, the analogy I came up with is that for some reason, when you look at like really expensive cars, for some reason, like the fancy stuff, like ooh, a Mercedes or ooh, a BMW, you notice that they almost always come in some shade of gray. It's like some monochromatic color. Black, white, and the gray in between. And I'm just like, why? And I kind of just thought, oh well, it's the least offensive color. I mean, I understand pink would sell, but does it actually sell? Because a pink car in real life looks absolutely nasty, and a pink. I mean, I guess the problem with them introducing color. Well, I think with the iPhone 5, they actually had like 3 different types of metal brushed colors or whatever
they still
that you could choose
that.
from.
They have that for the iPhone 6 now.
Yeah, they had like 3 colors, but they were still like metal based type of colors.
Hold on. Let me pull them up. Let me pull up.
Hello? Hello?
Anthony? Hello?
Okay, yeah, there was a hiccup there.
Oh,
You're good now.
Sorry.
Colors, so you were saying?
It's silver gold or space gray, which is basically black.
Okay.
Same with the iPad.
Yeah, like with everyone else, see, the thing is that with everyone else, it's I don't know why the color black is very popular. It's like black or white. Pick one. Some of them they don't let you choose at all. I mean, I understand when you're using your phone, all you do is you stare at the screen, and you let your phone case be your customizable thing about it. Which I think makes sense.
I'm planning to buy an iPad later this year. I'm getting it through my phone company. My phone bill goes up by like $20. But I figure I'm going to need something to work on at E3 because Stephanie's going to be using my laptop to edit videos. And I can plunk down for a cheap wireless keyboard and type my shit on that, right? Like, that's the plan. Sound good?
Okay.
And I'm definitely getting an iPad because I'm already locked into Apple shit. It would have all my music, all my apps. I can hook it to iCloud, all that good shit.
Cool.
And they have space gray, which is basically black with a black front, a black bezel. Sorry, and then they have gold and silver, which both have a white bezel. I'm gonna get the one with the black bezel because I think it looks better. And the thing with them though is there are cases. Like let's say I get an iPad Air 2. Let's say I go, so let's say I go that route. And hold on. Sorry, give me a sec. They're making me make decisions, Anthony.
What decisions? What are you doing?
Nothing. No, seriously, I'm just trying to get through their process of like, do you want to buy accessories?
Oh.
This website is hard to navigate. There we go.
Okay.
There we go. You can get their stupid case like colors, and depending on what kind of case you want, they offer red, white, black, green, yellow, pink, blue, brown, darker blue, darker red, and this weird tannish color and black. So I mean, with those, if you really want to customize it, you have cases or covers, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, see, like for me, it's like I'm not locked into Apple, but I can understand how their products are good quality, and obviously you pay for quality and all that. So yeah, I can understand it. Like freaking my iPod Touch, I still freaking use it. It's like it's gonna be 5 years old this year. iOS 5.1. Ooh, so outdated. No point to it, and I still think it's freaking awesome. It's still like I still use it as my music player. And what else do I do with it? Oh yeah, I still think its keyboard is better than the stock keyboard on the LG G2, which is like the hell, guys. Like seriously, freaking my 5-year-old iPod Touch which is even a smartphone. It's ancient, has a better keyboard than my smartphone. Please explain. Oh man, I love the keyboard so much. But yeah, it still runs like a champ. Doesn't really feel that old. I mean, aside from the fact that it just can't use any new apps these days because it's too old. Other than that, still runs pretty awesome. I mean, there was a point when iOS 5 first came out that made it stutter like crazy and have a battery life of only like 2 days on idle, or like a day and a half on idle. But then they eventually got their act together, and the battery life mostly came back to normal after that.
So I actually have a question now. If and I am saying if you were to get a tablet, what would be your your tablet of choice?
Well, I'm tempted to say an iPad.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that just. I mean, I'm partly saying that because one, it's still iOS, and iOS looks the same across all devices. So it's really easy for me to pick up and learn. Whereas with Android, what the manufacturers do is that they put their own little twist to Android. So the Samsung Android you have has like Samsung specific system apps on it that you don't get on LG. Then LG puts all this Q slide stuff onto it.
I'm going to tell you this story. Over winter break, I had to go over to my aunt's place to set up the tablet she got for Christmas along with the laptop, because she got both for my uncle. And holy shit, man, I did not realize how much shit they put on those tablets. For I think this one was I want to say it was a Asus. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, like, this is the reason why I would, like, pick an iPad. It's like with a tablet, I feel like it's just going to be so convenient for me to just plug it into my system and set, because I imagine that if I were to be on a tablet, I would go, you know what, if I have a tablet, chances are I'm using it for more than 10 minutes at a time, which means I probably want to listen to music when I do work, which probably means I don't want to spend that much time figuring out what type of songs I should copy over to a USB to that, SD card on my on a phone, like I do on my phone. I just I just want to hit a button that says sync, because like with my phone, I don't mind using Android because I don't really listen to music on my phone. I just look at that screen for like 5 seconds. And do I listen to music on my phone when I'm out in public? Nah, I don't really. So to me, the music player on my Android gets used very rarely on a smartphone. However, once you throw a tablet in, well, that's sort of like my semi-computer, I guess. It's just much more convenient and portable or whatever. So I imagine I want to listen to music, or maybe watch a movie, or do whatever.
That's actually a whole nother reason I'm wanting to pick up tablets, because now that I ride the bus, I want, a lot of the functionality of my laptop, but in something that is really small, or a lot smaller.
Yeah, well, tablets. Oh. Here's the one reason why I don't get into tablets. They either are A, not very good, B, they don't really give me any practical use thus far, or C, too expensive. I imagine that, yeah, sure, maybe I would buy an iPad if I had a lot of money and, actually I'd use for a lot of tablets, but iPads are like freaking...
If my phone company did not have this deal where, like, yeah, we'll split the cost of the tablet over 24 months, I would be like, fuck no, I'm not buying a tablet. Or if I was, it would be an iPad mini, like the cheapest one.
I know, but for like iPad mini, cheapest one, I can't put much on it, right? Because they only use flash memory. I just sit here and I'm just like, I understand the appeal of tablets. I understand why people buy iPads now instead of PCs, but I'm sorry. $700? No. Just no.
No, I completely understand.
I understand if you use it for work, because if it's for work, you're freaking using the thing every day. And you know what?
Well,
if you use it every day, okay, yeah, that makes it worth it when you use something every day. It has a practical purpose, and you're making it worth its value. But for me, there's no reason for me to get a tablet right now. And my phone does everything a tablet does, just on a tiny little screen. That's just how I see it.
So here's the thing. Like I said, if I would not be getting a tablet if it weren't for the fact that it, you know, it costs me $28 a month. For something that I'm probably going to use every day because I'm not going to. Because another problem I've realized with, running all my shit on my phone on the bus and, during my breaks at work and on the way back home is I kill my phone's battery. Yeah, and like there have been several cases where I'm like talking to you guys, like I'll be home soon, and the phone goes dead. So like that's another reason where I'm just like, man, I could save a whole shit ton of like time, effort, and there's a bunch of apps I want on it. Like I understand why you wouldn't want to get a tablet. Like I completely understand. I am saying that thanks to this deal that my cell phone provider has set up, it kind of makes it worth it for me. So,
Okay. Okay.
but and that said, like, and even then, like for me, the iPad Mini that I'd get if I was, would be, $299, which, not the worst price in the world.
You probably can't put much on it, anyways.
16 gigs, which would basically be my entire music library and a couple movies.
Okay.
Yeah. So, oh, and then Hearthstone. I'd find a way to get Hearthstone on there.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, Anthony, that's what's going to be what ruins me. Being able to play Hearthstone anywhere at any time. That is
It's
going
like
to ruin
at
me.
work, pull out Hearthstone. In an office cubicle, Hearthstone. And then someone walks in, hit the home button.
Yeah.
Because it just goes in standby and you can pick it right up.
Yep. No, I'll play Hearthstone at work. Boss comes in, hit the home button. It's like, oh yeah, no, I was looking at some stuff for the new survey. Yep. um. So anyway, moving forward, I played The Order.
Yeah, very mixed opinions about that game, apparently.
I disagree with Nick.
Okay.
That's like I disagree with a lot of things with Nick in that game. Like so many things. I mean I agree with him that it's a gorgeous game. Like that I
Well,
will
I'm pretty
say.
sure anybody can say that. It has gorgeous tech, I should say.
Like yeah, it is a very
Animations
technical,
are mostly flawless, etc., etc., etc.
yeah, like it's a very technically impressive game, but outside of tech, it feels so just limited and like it feels like giant piece of missed potential. So
We did film like 30 minutes of it for 60-minute access, and this is like my opinion of what I saw and having not personally played it. So like how in say Mass Effect 2, that's a cinematic game, you had dialogue options and you could choose to be an angel or a jackass. You can choose whether you want to use a sniper rifle all day. You can choose on whether you're a biotic or like you kind of felt like you were kind of in control of how the story went, even though it's still said, but you still kind of had to follow the major plot points of Shepard had to kill the collector base, right?
yeah,
From what I saw in the order, it felt like a very rigid script that you had to follow. Like the quick time events, the only purpose from what I saw was, oh, it's because you needed to. It's because you need to do this. It's like you are fulfilling your role as an actor, and this script told you to do this. Rigidly do this, and if you don't do it, okay, cut. Do that scene again. It's like the game is being a director to you, and you're an actor who's required to do it. Versus in Mass Effect, it was kind of more like, yeah, you still kind of have to follow this path of kill the collector base eventually, but you can choose how you want to do it.
I mean, I feel like there are a lot of linear cinematic games I like Uncharted. But I feel like Uncharted has way more control. Well, like during those holy shit set piece moments in Persona, I still feel like I have control of the game. So, like, I feel like, okay, I'm still controlling Nathan Drake. I have to do this at the right time. I'm doing the shooting, you know. Like during the order, I felt that like the game wanted to take as much control away from me as possible. Like it.
Well, again, like I said, it's like you're an actor and the director has a script and you're required to follow that script. And
And
if you screw up, do it again.
and I wouldn't mind this as much if it weren't for the fact that like the story isn't super great.
Like actually, that's one of the problems of a cinematic story is that they need to be entertaining or they need to be like really really good. Like when you have something like a point and click adventure game, you have to write a good story for them. Cuz those games it's like point and click, that's not exactly very deep gameplay, so you have to make up for it. So
I
you
mean,
have to yeah, you have to write a good story when you do games that are this heavy on cinematics and don't actually feature that much depth in the gameplay. Like the last story. I remember the last story gameplay is pretty shallow and not that good. I mean, it was really mediocre, had a really high BS factor, and once you figure out the magic trick, it's really easy sailing from there. But you know what? Hironobu Sakaguchi freaking wrote an amazing story. Nobuo Uematsu wrote amazing music for it, and it just kind of and it's like, yeah, this game is awesome. Not because that you actually want to play it, but because the story and the art and the music are absolutely amazing. So it has redeeming values that really hook you if you're into it.
I mean, oh man, it's and the story. You know, I'll talk about the story here in a little bit. Like they have all this stuff about the order, and they explain so little about it. And they have all this stuff about the werewolves and the half breeds, but they explain so little about it. And they have all this stuff about like this other weird monster race, but they don't explain anything about it. Like it's so focused on this one narrative when there's all this other shit that is so much more interesting that they could have fleshed out than their narrative.
From
It
what
pisses me off.
it sounds like what you're describing is kind of like Destiny minus the good Destiny gameplay. Like Destiny
Yeah,
didn't
like
explain anything to you. I mean, at least they gave it to you online, but still, like if you didn't go on online like I did, it's just their story was just one giant vagueness, and then you're just like, what's even going on here? All I know is the Traveler came and it had an enemy called the Darkness, and the light's here, and your ghost apparently
no,
just
you are the
has.
light. You and your
Yeah,
ghost
you are
the
the light. You're out there to banish the darkness. The Traveler had an enemy, and here's your ghost who has the processing power of a Windows 98 computer in this certain year because you have to protect it from anything and everything. Damn thing isn't covert enough.
Um.
Uh,
So I'm so man. I I I would say that's giving the order a little too much credit. Um. And I'm just so like Jeff Gerstmann reviewed the game and he gave it a 2 out of 5. And I'm not gonna be that mean about it, but I would say it's like like yeah, actually no, if we rate it on a 5-point scale, like I think a 2 would probably be right. No. No.
I don't know. Like I'm a sucker for cinematic games, but I'm a sucker for cinematic games that have really good story, music, like really good presentation values. Like it's like you could make your movie or your game, sorry. You can make your game an amazing spectacle and make it cinematic and awesome, but if the story is not good enough and the music is flat, I'm not going to care because all I'm watching is a really mediocre movie instead.
Well,
That's how I personally feel about it. Because it's like, there's a reason why Mass Effect 2 stuck out to me so much, is that even if the gameplay was... Actually, I should say Mass Effect 1 is a better example. Yeah, Mass Effect 1 had, like, really mediocre gameplay, and if I were to play it today, I probably would think of the gameplay's crap. But you know what? Cinematics, okay, but it had an amazing story that's probably one of the best I've ever seen. I absolutely love its soundtrack. I love the work that they put into it, and you know what? It did an amazing job of introducing this brand new sci-fi world, or universe, I should say, that is mind-boggling. So, yeah, I'm a sucker for cinematic games, but you need to do a good job with it, though. Like, at least, if it's cinematic, make sure the cinematic bits are good. Story.
I
music.
I get very frustrated at that game because it like the idea of the werewolf stuff sounds right, like all that sounds, and it seemed like
Freaking
really
werewolves
interesting.
and half breeds and this secret thing called the Order, and they've got this mysterious black water and this and that, and I'm just like, holy crap! And it's in like Victorian England, which hey, games don't really visit anything from that era, and here they were. They came up with an ingenious way to visit that era somehow. Sounds great on paper, right?
Like it feels like they had like a million different story threads and couldn't pick one, and then the one they picked is the most boring one possible.
The one, it's probably the one with the least plot holes or the least offensive stuff in it or something.
But even that has plot holes. Like,
Yeah.
uh,
Which makes you think if they think this is the best plot, what were the other ones they scraped?
yeah.
I just
I'm
kind
not
of felt
sure.
like looking at that game and the way you described it and what I saw, it's like, man, I think they probably spent too much money and time making it an awesome tech demo for a PS4 instead of making it an amazing game. I'm pretty sure it probably plays okay, but they were hyping it up pretty hard.
Okay, so I'm going to look over the game. Like, I'm trying to tell you to figure out who else, like the games these people have worked on besides The Order. They did Daxter, which was an amazing PSP game, a lot of fun. They did the two God of War PSP games, which the second one of those was awesome. They worked on the Wii port and PS3 port of Okami. But they didn't actually develop Okami; they just ported it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they worked on all the God of War ports being ported over to PS3. So
Well, okay. See, when I look at those games, as far as games that they've made 100% themselves ish, it's like God of War and Resistance. You said,
Daxter.
and Daxter and all that kind of stuff, right? I feel like compared to I don't know much about Daxter, but like the Order 1886 is very different because it's very movie like and very cinematic. So it's like it's their huge ambitious project. And I kind of felt like maybe that was probably one of the reasons why the Order didn't turn out as good as it is, because having worked on like Wii ports and a few God of Wars or something like that, it's probably a bit too much of a leap for that studio. I don't know.
I mean,
They
like,
did have guidance from Santa Monica, I think, like some help from those guys, but I'm not sure.
yeah, like I would have rather had them make another like a Vita God of War game.
Yeah, that would have been
Like,
fine. Yeah, I guess.
like that would have probably served their skill set a whole lot better, or like a Vita platformer. Because
Yeah.
this is just
Because you
depressing.
just know this game is not cheap at all. Because whenever you focus this much on tech and make the game look this good, there's no way it's cheap at all.
I mean, yeah, like it's a PlayStation.
I mean, they
4.
could probably reduce their graphical budget by about 20% and give it to a good writer, and that would actually be more meaning. That would be more meaningful in the long term.
So, yeah, like yeah, that game. It's we're gonna save the rest for the spoiler cast. Oh, one last thing. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but they pull off this like really last bullshit ass plot twist, like right in the final cutscene, or the second to last. Sorry, not I forgot about the epilogue, but it's in the last cutscene of the main game, not including the epilogue, and it's like fucking really. And they try to pull off like, and then they make this one part of it interactive, like, oh, this has emotional weight. It's like that scene from Metal Gear 3, right? I'm like,
No, you mean
no,
like a scene, like they tried to give emotional weight similar to like say you have to pull the trigger to kill somebody.
yeah. Like, do you remember that?
Um,
Do you remember that scene in Metal Gear 4 or Metal Gear 3, right at the end, where they're like,
I did not play Metal Gear 3.
we need to change that.
I put like yeah, like I play Metal Gear 4 and I'm going to play 5, but 1 through 3, yeah, that's a big blame. I'm sorry.
I'm thinking after the Wonderful 101, we should do the Metal Gear the Twin Snakes.
We could.
Um,
Ooh.
that'd be a GameCube game. and then continue our legacy of dumb Japanese games. But we gotta do it with my GameCube memory card plugged in, so you can be like, "You like Super Mario Sunshine?" So anyway, um, but no. So like at the end of Metal Gear 3, you have to kill this person, and it's all in cutscene mode, and then you see the black bars disappear, and like the button prompt, like, no, you're not gonna make me do it, no. And no matter how long you stand there, you do have to press the button to pull the trigger.
Yeah, but you have to like build proper emotional weight for that character before that scene can make you emotional and just make you feel like a terrible gut wrench ball of, a wreck, basically making you a wreck.
Yeah, and this doesn't do that. The order does not do this or anything close to this. So yeah, fuck that. Yeah, man. That's yeah, man, fuck that. All right. So moving forward, played the order, played Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask still really holds up well. Not this week because I have to review Scream Ride, but next week I'm going to be streaming a playthrough of The Last of Us Remastered.
Oh, that's
so everyone who wants to watch me scream like a little girl, enjoy that.
Put on your headphones.
I will play it with my
because like clickers. Okay, yeah, when you're playing them on the TV, okay, maybe not the most terrifying thing ever, but add surround sound with noise canceling or noise deafening, noise reduction headphones.
I'm pretty sure they're noise canceling, but I'm not sure. Hold on, let me check.
I mean, it's like if it's like noise reduction through the material, okay, I get that. Noise cancellation, you can use like sound waves to cancel off other sound waves. Like it's pretty tricky stuff. Trippy, I should say. Trippy, yeah.
Let me check. Distortion less than 0.1%. Hold on, give me a second. I'm having trouble finding that specific specification.
Okay, well, maybe it doesn't say.
Keep talking.
But yeah, okay, so noise canceling. Actually, there's like, as far as I can tell, there's like two different ways of reducing noise, as far as I could tell, and both of these is just because I read enough Car Magazine articles that one of the things that you do is, I think they call it sound deafening.
Mm-hmm.
It's sound deadening. Sorry, sound deadening, not deafening. Deadening or something like that. So basically, it's just using materials to reduce noise, like your wall reduces noise from other areas of your house, or a door, or a cloth, or putting hood over here, something like that. And then there's like noise cancellation tech, which is using sound to cancel out other sound, because a sound is a wave. And so if you use like a special kind of wave to, cancel out this other wave, you can effectively kill off that noise. Which, if you got enough fancy audio engineering and put it through some speakers, you probably don't need as much sound deadening material. It's pretty cool stuff. I'm pretty sure the whole sound speaker, using speakers to cancel off sound, isn't exactly the best way to reduce noise, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't catch everything, but, it's pretty cool tech.
So, from what I am reading here, it has canceling if you are using the mix amp, which I will be doing if I am playing on. Basically, I'm playing anything but my PC or my Wii U. So,
Okay.
And they are most definitely loud as hell, so even if I didn't have noise canceling, I wouldn't be able to hear anything anyway.
Okay. But yeah, clickers at 5.1 surround.
7.1.
Yeah. Oh, 7.1. Good luck. Good luck.
But like I said, I've had these headsets for 2. It'll be going on 3 years here. My only complaint is they are on ear instead of over the ear, which when I wear them for a long time, they start to bother me, like my ears a little bit.
Yeah. If I bet headphones, I might buy the mix amp off yours or something.
Yeah, because if I'm planning to buy a new pair. But
Yeah, I'm interested in that mix amp.
I am
If I have
planning to.
like a compatible headphone or something, or is it like a standard stereo jack? Actually, if it's 7.1, it's not a standard stereo jack, is it?
No, it has a. Okay, so the devices that plug into your consoles are a USB and an optical out. And then the stuff that you plug your headphones into depends on what you're using. But they do have one for a standard stereo jack. So I don't know.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds nice.
Yeah, dude, no, the fucking Astro headphones are legit as hell. Like I cannot say enough good things about them. Like I said, I do intend to buy a pair, like another pair in the future. But I plan to buy A40s because they are over the ear and not on ear, and I won't have headphones pressing against my head for hours at a time. Instead, they will just be over my ears. So,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Anyway, so that's what we've been playing, I guess. I finished an anime this week.
Okay, which one?
My Bride is a Mermaid.
Okay, that sounds weird.
Dude, it is so funny. You finished House of Cards, so I encourage you to watch the first 5 episodes of My Bride is a Mermaid. Cause it gets fucking crazy.
Oh, I'm sure with that trippy of a title.
But yeah, legit. No question. But yeah, man. Oh, hey. Speaking of Astro, their Gen 1 headsets, which were the ones that I have, are currently on sale because they just announced Gen 2. My headphones, the ones I use, the A30s, are down from $100 to $80. These are without the mix amp. The one with the mix amp is down from $200 to $150. And they don't have the mix amp for the A40s, but the headset itself is down from $150 to $120. I swear.
Cool.
Why is it that every time that I don't want to buy these Astros at full price because I'm basically just paying for comfort and louder speakers. So I don't I haven't been willing to swallow that pill. So every goddamn time, I swear, it just seems that every single time that the Astro A40s go on sale, I am broke. And not like I'm broke as in I don't want to spend money, as in I'm broke until next paycheck. And next paycheck I have to cover bills.
Well, you could try this amazing concept called saving money. Instead of, oh man, I want to buy this game, you could save it towards your headphones.
Well, I do that.
Crazy concept, I know, right?
God damn it, Anthony! Don't be a dick.
I know.
No,
sorry.
no. But no, it's just it seems that every I had a good amount of cash earlier this past month, and I'll probably have a decent amount in late March, early April. But at this particular moment, it's just of course they're on sale. Of course they fucking are.
Well, life works that way. You ever realize that?
Yeah, exactly. That's how it always works, right?
Yeah, it's just life is generous when you can't get it somehow.
Yeah.
It's it's gonna be like the one time you move out of the city is when things are gonna be golden again.
Of course.
It's gonna happen, right? You move out of the city and all of a sudden the city has all these jobs because somehow the Olympics is coming here and you have wow.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll anyway, on the news. Not much news this week, sadly.
News is a rare thing when everyone is crashing from the holiday season party and is suffering from a hangover. Sort of. I don't know. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, there's really not much. Like, I don't really have anything here.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do a quick check. Well, Bloodborne's coming out soon. That's news, right?
Yeah. Like Bloodborne looks really good. I've actually been researching that game, and like they said they're making it slightly easier and more accessible so new people can actually play it. That's good. It has. Yeah, the game looks cool. Like I'm really looking forward to it. I hope that I don't hate it.
Okay.
Um.
Oh man. I mean, every time I go on the website, it's like more TV news and movie news than actual game news.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
I mean, the Grammys happened, but that's something.
Yep.
Oh,
here we go.
They showed 24 minutes of Xenoblade Chronicles X. Ooh.
Okay, that we haven't seen it, so we can't really talk about.
Yeah.
So Nintendo Voice Chat did a poll from their fans to vote for the top 10 essential 3DS games. And this is what they came up with. Number 10, Mutant Mudds.
Never heard of it.
Number 9, Shovel Knight.
Okay.
Number 8, Majora's Mask.
Okay, that's a remake.
Number 7, Super Smash Bros. 3DS.
That's good.
Number 6, Pokemon X and Y.
Yeah.
Number 5, Fantasy Life.
Okay.
Number 4, Mario 3D Land. Number 3, Fire Emblem. Number 2, Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. And number 1, Animal Crossing New Leaf.
Okay.
I kind of agree with that. Like, I continue to play Animal Crossing, every single day on my commutes. It's a perfect commute game because it's like, oh, you have an hour. Well, that's exactly how long it takes to do all your daily shit in this game.
Okay.
Talk about Animal Crossing, Anthony. Go.
Okay. Things about Animal Crossing. Well, same thing that I've always said all the time. Well, it was a game that I could only play 15 or 20 minutes at a time, and I thought, gee, this game's kind of boring because I'm doing the same 15 or 20 minutes all the time, and then I look at my play log, and it's the second most played game ever on my 3DS.
What's number 1?
Yeah, Fire Emblem Awakening.
Of course it is.
Because, yeah, but still, Animal Crossing, it was like my first Animal Crossing. I thought, oh, this is kind of boring. I don't think much about that game, but, oh man, 50 hours. And I haven't even, like, gotten all the nice shops for it yet. And I'm afraid to come back because, one, everyone's going to be like, the hell you've been, man? You've got people that moved out. They've abandoned you. You got some new people that showed up and thought that you actually cared enough that they wanted to move here. And, your secretary.
So, with mine, it was like, because I booted up on a whim. I was like, man, Majora's Mask isn't out for a couple weeks. I need something to play on these fucking bus rides that isn't Smash Brothers. And I boot up Animal Crossing. It's like, yo, man, have you been like locked in your room doing angel dust for like 6 months? Because like dudes moved out, like half the town's on drugs. Like there's a rampant crime problem. Tom Nook is racketeering. Like you need to fix this shit. And then I got into the game and like every day I log on, pick my fruit, sell my fruit, go to the island, catch inventory worth of bugs, sell my inventory worth of bugs, dig my fossils, get them assessed, sell my fossils, pay off a bench, pay off Tom Nook, so on and so forth.
Okay, wow, that's the checklist.
Yeah, so what is your view? So we got a question for the weekly question roundup here. What is your view of the current console race since launch? Obviously, Sony was crushing it before launch and from outset. Seems like Microsoft, but from someone who hasn't jumped onto the current console generation, it seems like Microsoft has had a better lineup of games. When I buy a new console, I'll definitely get a PS4, but honestly, Sony hasn't had the great first party lineup either. Have had a PlayStation Plus has been great for quite some time. This month, of course, is pretty terrific, but I didn't renew it then to last year because month to month their instant offerings were kind of random. Also, weekly discounts have been kind of lacking. Other than that, they need to have some cross compatibility between all platforms. Finally, UI is a major problem in all PlayStation systems. I don't have much faith they'll ever get it right. I'm likely to get a PS4 when the time is right because I'm more of a Sony guy, but I'm wondering what you guys think. How do you see the race now?
Nintendo at this point kind of feels like a niche product. I know their CEO said something about. One game can turn the Wii U around, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, if you mean by turn around isn't give it a sales boost, totally. If you mean it's going to catch up to your quote competitors, no, sorry.
If you yeah, Zelda ain't doing it. Nintendo.
Zelda isn't doing it because, let's be honest here, it wasn't exactly the thing that sold the crazy more Wii's when Skyward Sword came out.
Yeah.
And Majora's Mask isn't lighting 3DS sales on fire. And even if it did, the new 3DS just came out, so that could be another reason why you had a sales spike there. Smash sort of does, but it's not a Pokemon. A full-on Pokemon Adventure on the Wii U, maybe.
Dude,
and not like something that's like made by a different studio like Coliseum was, or Gale of Darkness was. Like Game Freak making a Pokemon game for the Wii U.
So
I mean, it's not. I don't think it's gonna happen because they gotta make like the next Pokemon games for the 3DS to come out this year or something.
I think that Nintendo is pretty much out of the race altogether. Like they're off in their own little fun land.
Well, they kind of have to at this point.
Microsoft is in a really interesting place because I feel that they have a very they have it's almost the same problem Sony had last generation, where they have all these great games, but it's locked behind the world's shittiest interface and like some just weird decisions and marketing things that are just gonna fucking haunt them forever. You know, and they're fucking trying so hard, and they have to because we're a year and a couple months in, and they're like 8 million consoles behind, and they're not gaining ground. They've had 3 months of gaining ground versus 11 of just getting their ass handed to them. So they're on the defensive, and they need to continue to sway people with games you can only get on Xbox. Reasons to choose Xbox Live over PlayStation Plus,
in the Xbox's case, it's just been like a case of crazy bundles and a very aggressive pricing war or pricing scheme
and very aggressive marketing. I see way more ads for Xbox than I do PlayStation. Now,
if you see it enough, you'll buy it, huh?
That's kind of their logic at this point.
Name recognition.
And then this month's games for gold is Rayman Legends, which, I mean, that's a fucking amazing game. And, we don't know what PlayStation's is next month, so we can't really say. I would laugh really hard if it's also Rayman Legends. But, these systems have very little that differentiates them, right? Just very little. So every exclusive game matters, price point matters, interface matters, and where your friends are matters. Price point, the difference is $50 at this point, because both systems come with a game.
Okay.
Because with the Xbox, you get Assassin's Creed. With the PlayStation, you get Last of Us. So interface, Sony. Where your friends are, probably Sony. Like
Unless you're in
realistic,
America, it's probably Xbox. I don't know.
like all my friends, like the majority of the people I know got PS4s. Like the very vast majority. Like even people at my work, you know. And like I was talking with, Panda, and I've talked to every other people, I've talked to people on our staff, like Tori, who don't own the new consoles yet. I'm like, which one are you in? They all tell me PlayStation. So like the amount of my friends who have PlayStation,
But Xbox is gaining ground, especially in North America, where it's like their main market.
they're still getting outsold though.
Yeah,
Like
I don't know.
I mean, how bad did they have to push on Black Friday to outsell? Like Black Friday, those things were $330 and coming with like 3 or 4 games. You know, and it didn't like double sales; it just outsold. So they just sold more. It didn't like triple or double. It just sold more. And so like where your friends are, like the early adopters, most of them went to PlayStation, and that says games. And right now, Microsoft does have a better exclusive lineup. They do. Killzone's great. Infamous is awesome. Last of Us is great. Transistor is also really good. Like PlayStation does have really good games, but like they don't have any just like other than Infamous, they don't really have anything that just fucking hits super hard. Like they don't have a Halo. They don't have a Forza. They don't have a Sunset Overdrive or a Dead Rising. They don't have these huge fucking names. And I get that the big blockbuster is not everything. In fact, I actually kind of prefer the PS4 because I like a lot of indie games and a lot of smaller titles.
To be honest, though, Nintendo has the big blockbusters, and well,
Yeah, but they don't have third-party support. Yeah, you get Smash Brothers, but you don't get Dragon Age. Yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, yeah, we'll talk about that later. Anyway, yeah, like PlayStation is good. The thing is, PlayStation is going to get their first party titles. Bloodborne's out this year. Uncharted's out this year. Sony Santa Monica's working on something. They have tons of in Axiom Verge is out in a couple weeks. They got a lot of stuff coming. And on the consoles, it is the place to play multiplats. So, I mean, take that how you will, but I mean, I think Microsoft needs to continue what they're doing and then also fix their interface. Because like right now, it's literally been a flip in what happened. Like, because Sony had the same problem when marketing to people in America last time around, where it's like, well, fuck, everyone's on Xbox Live. If you want to play with your friends, they're already on fucking Xboxes. How do we get these people to move over? Microsoft has to figure that same problem out. And the way Sony did it was by having a console that did more. I mean, it was a Blu-ray player, it had Wi-Fi built in, that stuff. And by releasing just amazing games you couldn't get on the Xbox. Killzone 2, Metal Gear 4, Demon Souls, Uncharted 2, Heavy Rain, God of War, 3D Game Heroes. Like Sony just had to keep fucking just throwing tons of great games out. Microsoft just needs to do the same thing. No, because Tomb Raider being exclusive to Xbox, that's a big thing in their favor. So, So, yeah. So, I don't know. I think Microsoft could turn it around, but it's going to be a lot of work.
Okay.
Your thoughts?
I'm not a good industry analyst, but what would get me, like, I just look at the view of what would get me to buy an Xbox One at this point. And I sit here and I literally think the only way that they could really get me to buy an Xbox One this year is if they somehow put out some $300 Forza 6 bundle.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be $300. This is what I think is going to happen. I think that, if they don't have ground by the time the holidays roll around, right? I
Right.
think like if they don't have ground gained by the time the holidays roll around, they're gonna be like, yo, 350 Forza bundle, 350 Halo 5 bundle. So
Well, it's going to happen. They want first place, right?
they do. Like um so hey Microsoft, if you want me to promote your system, Viva Pinata 3. When's it happening?
Uh,
Cameo 2?
Here's the thing, though, is that you say Cameo 2, but who are you really appealing to by putting out a Cameo 2? People who played the original Cameo, like, almost 10 years ago at this point.
Dude, how weird is this? Cameo is almost 10 years old this year.
I'm sorry, it's like, who are you appealing to when you put out Cameo? It's like, what's that game that they brought back that was originally on the first Xbox?
Oh.
That we saw at E3. I forgot what it's called.
Dust? Phantom Dust.
Phantom Dust, yeah. Like, how many people are actually going to buy? Is that going to really sell your system? No, because, like, the only people that are going to be really interested in is, yeah, you're going to have some newcomers. You're going to have a few newcomers, but it's going to be mostly people who played the game from way back in the day, and how much of that audience do you have?
Okay, so
probably not much. But Halo, yeah, a lot of people just pretty much have played Halo at this point.
Okay, so Phantom Dust had, like, a really hardcore cult following, and I can actually see that game being kind of big just because it's MMO parts.
Okay, yeah, like, hardcore cult following does not necessarily net. I mean, it helps. Every little bit helps, right? But
no, I am saying that hardcore cult following, like, friends of those people see them playing it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's a really big multiplayer game. Here, try it." And then they like, you know, if there's one thing I've kind of realized about World of Warcraft and League and Destiny even is and Borderlands and like games with a multiplayer focus have a way bigger chance of going big because they suck your friends in. Like, because here's a perfect example. Destiny was coming out. I was gonna play it. Brevin was gonna play it. John, Kyrie, Nick were all gonna play it. You bought a PlayStation to play with us. Like that. The pull of and to be fair, when we all played Destiny together, we had a ton of fun. That shit was entertaining. But it's it's one of those things where like a game like that can sell a system. Like I'm joking around when I say that. Like Cameo, ha ha ha. I know it's never coming, but I can dream. Especially because that game sold.
Considering they brought back Killer Instinct, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Look, Viva Pinata isn't dead because the first one sold a couple million. The second one didn't do as well, but it still did okay. Cameo's dead. Cameo did 330,000 worldwide.
Okay, that's gone. And like Rare's doing other things now.
Apparently, Rare is supposedly working. The rumor is they're working on a new Battletoads and some other old IP. So take that how you will. But like look, Anthony, I've accepted Cameo is dead. I accepted it a long time ago. I loved that game. It's one of my favorite games. But yeah, man, I have fully accepted that it's
gone.
Yeah. Yeah. So that I don't know. So we should probably announce this. We're gonna have a panel. It is at Otaku Palooza up at the University of Nevada, Reno, Saturday the 28th.
Okay.
We're not sure what panel room we're going to be in. We're going to do our standard panel deal where the staff asks each other questions and then we answer them. For sure, John and I are going to be there. I don't know who else is. Definitely not Kyrie or Nick, obviously. Everyone else from there is just kind of a guess. So yeah, we're on iTunes, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. We have a weekly stream. We haven't decided what it is yet. So yeah. Bye.
Bye.
I love you.